so many people pay too much money into the bond account in terms of interest, and they take so much time to cover the loan term, right? So I have been on the last few videos showing you methods, different methods or techniques you can actually use to cover that. You avoid paying too much interest and you actually cut off the loan term into lower than normal, because normally the loan term should be paid normally in 20 years, but it is very much possible to pay in 15 years, in 10 years, depending on the methods that you do to ensure that you actually make sure that you cover and you pay the bank their money, right? So there's different methods. So if you have not viewed any of those methods, you can just, go to the videos again on my profile and then see the videos that has to do with repayment of the home loan, right? So the method for today requires so much discipline. So it needs somebody who has the financial discipline to achieve it. If you don't have the financial discipline, you need to learn or you need to stay away from this method, okay? But let me tell you about it. The method is to ensure that you pay frequently, right? What does it mean? So what it means is that on a normal structure that you pay a home loan, right? So it's structured in a way that you pay the home loan once a month, right? So when you pay it once a month, what it means is that some part of the money that you pay goes to interest and some part goes towards the principal, right? But in most cases at the beginning you'll be paying the interest, right? So that's how it takes so long to actually cover all that money, right? To recover that money that the bank has given you to pay for that bond, right? So what it means is that if you are making a monthly installment, then it means that you're gonna pay let's say 12 installments a year, right? And that is really the slowest way to do it. But if you are making frequent installment, what it means is that you will have a monthly installment that is determined based on your interest rate. Say for example you have a loan of 1 million, and which means that at the current interest rate you will be paying, let's say 11,000 as an installment on a once-off if you are paying the normal way. But if you are using the more frequent way, you can decide whether to pay bi-weekly, which means that you divide the installment by 2, or you can on a weekly basis, which means that you divide the installment by 4, right? Or every other week, whatever works for you, right? So you can choose to pay it once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever that works for you. Say for example you chose to pay once a week, right? So what happens is that you need to choose a specific day, right, that you will pay the installment. So if we are going with an example where you are paying for 11,000 installment for a bond that you took that was R1 million, right? So what it means is that you will divide that 11,000, which is the installment, by the number of weeks that you have on a month, which is 4, right? So then it will give you a certain number. So that number, it means you will make a payment towards. But the issue sometimes is that the bank will not really allow you to do that. So you need to talk to them and tell them that you don't want to pay via a debit order. You want to make a manual deposit. You need to make that arrangement with them. They will be difficult, but you must force them to allow you to pay it in that way, because if you don't pay it in that way, they will not allow to make, or they will not make 4 debit orders a month. They will not do that. Or you can make yourself a scheduled payment, right, which actually automatically takes from your bank account which depends on which bank you're using, right? But there's a possibility to make a scheduled payments, right? Of which you will pay on a monthly basis, right? So what is the benefit of doing that, right? So what you must know is that your interest, right, that you pay once off in a month is calculated on a daily basis. So every single day they are calculating the interest rate. So now if you are paying more in terms of the you are making more frequent payments, it means you are actively reducing the amount of interest that is generated, right? Because also at the end of the month, right, or at any given time, at once a week, given that you actually also must take note of this, that you must direct that the bank, when you pay that amount, it goes directly towards paying your principal. Because what some banks do when you pay stuff like that, they don't allocate it there, they put it in some sort of a savings account, and I don't think that's what you need, right? Because that's not what you need. If you need a savings account, you'll just open it as a separate savings account. So that's what you need to be looking at, right? So once you have ensured that you have made an arrangement that it goes directly into the principal, right? At the end of the month, it helps you in two ways, right? There's a less balance to calculate the interest, right? Due to the frequent payments that you are making. And the second part is that it will wipe out several years of interest, né? Because you are making the frequent installment, because you are covering, you are interested at a much faster rate, and you are paying sooner, right? You are making an earlier payment, even sometimes maybe before the interest has been charged, you already made the payment. So this is how it helps you, right? So you need to ensure that you do that. So it just requires the discipline that you are able to pay in time every week, but you need to select one day a week that you will do that. For me, I select every Saturday morning, and that's how I pay it, right? So you must make sure that the lender or the bank, they credit that towards your loan, right? So that's very, very much key, and that's very much important, right? So this method is very, very effective than simply sending an additional payment once a year. So that's what you need to think of. But if you watch the combination of all these strategies that I've told you about, and you combine them and you apply them all together, it is very much possible to pay your bond in 10 years, right? Even in less time, because you are combining a whole lot of strategies, right? Just go to those videos, right? As you know, this is the big elephant, the Korea manage. We always try to add value. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Cheers, I'm out.